Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to call the October 16th, 2024 meeting of the Auburn School Committee to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'll start down here on my right with introductions.
Dan Poisson, Ward 5.
Quinn Gormley, Ward 4.
Corin McWiggin, Ward 1.
Pam Hart, Ward 2.
Pamela Albert at large.
Sue Doris, Superintendent.
Pat Gaudier, Ward 3.
Jay Rich at large.
Adam Platt, City Council Representative.
Connor Dufour, Student Representative.
Calvin Vincent, Student Representative.
Amanda Kucher, Business Manager.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I'm going to start tonight with our executive session. I'm going to entertain a motion to enter executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A for the purpose of employment of officials, appointees, and employees. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Pat, Pam. All those in favor? We will adjourn to the bump out room for executive session. Okay. I need a motion to re-enter regular session.
So moved. Seconded.
Corin, Quinn. All those in favor? We are back in regular session at 6:22. Okay, I'm going to start with the approval of our tonight's consent agenda, which includes the approval of the agenda, the approval of the minutes of the October 2nd, 2024 meeting, and the approval of the following certified contracts pending appropriate certification and/or license of Scott Anier as the interim assistant superintendent. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Pat, Pam. All those in favor? Motion is unanimous, and I'd like to be the first to congratulate Scott Anier. Congratulations, Scott. Okay, moving on to public participation. I'm now going to open public comment for anyone who wishes to address the Auburn School Committee this evening. Please keep in mind that public comment is not designed to be a discussion, but rather an opportunity for the school committee to listen. I ask that you maintain civility and respect. Keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, which I will be enforcing tonight just because I want to make sure that everyone who wants to speak has an opportunity to do so. So if I hold up my 3 fingers, that means you've hit your time and you need to wrap up. And refrain from commenting on any specific school personnel as prohibited by our policy and state and federal privacy laws. When stepping to the podium, please state your name and your affiliation with the Auburn School Department. The floor is open. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Nikki LeRae, and I'm an ed tech at Fairview. And then do I do this? Okay, all right. I'm standing here tonight on behalf of the Fairview educational technicians and secretaries. Along with the letter that I am about to read, we have also provided you with multiple written testimonials from secretaries, ed techs, and even classroom teachers. Additionally, we've provided a spreadsheet comparing our wages to those in nearby districts. 15, 17, 23, and 25. These numbers reflect the years of service that some of our secretaries and ed techs have dedicated to the Auburn School Department. 15 years, 17 years, 23 years, and 25 years. In the past, employees were thrilled to join the Auburn School Department. However, we've recently witnessed several long-term staff members faced with the difficult choice to leave. This decision has not been made lightly, either by those departing or by those currently considering their options. These individuals are not leaving because they don't love their jobs. If that were the case, they wouldn't have stayed for so long. The unfortunate truth is that our school department has lost dedicated, hardworking individuals to neighboring districts due to one primary issue: inadequate wages. Many ed techs face a tough choice between being hired as full-time employees or working as substitutes. Shockingly, a substitute filling the same role as an ed tech currently earns more per day than a full-time ed tech at the Auburn School Department's entry-level pay. Let that sink in. We have employees working full-time who are earning less per day than their substitute counterparts. The Auburn School Department's wage scale needs to be revised to be competitive with other districts. We've provided you with a spreadsheet that outlines the current wages and benefits in neighboring districts. Unfortunately, we can't even call this a competitive comparison, as Auburn has the lowest starting pay and top of scale wages. Not only are we at the bottom, but we're significantly lower than almost every single district in the entire state, including our neighbors in Lewiston. How can we expect employees to choose Auburn when they can simply drive across the bridge and earn so much more? Not only are our wages inadequate, but ongoing budget cuts and staffing shortages have led to increased responsibilities for current employees. Many are taking on additional tasks without any extra compensation or acknowledgement. This situation is a recipe for underappreciation and burnout.
I'm Kara Murray. Sorry, that's my maiden name. I am a ed tech too at Fairview. As you know, the negotiation team has been working on our contracts since early May, and with the start of the new school year, many of us have begun the year without a wage increase. In fact, while our wages remain stagnant, our insurance costs have risen by over 5%, leaving most of us earning less than we did last year. Additionally, edtechs face further challenges as our insurance policies do not allow us to cover our dependents, unlike many other employees at the Auburn School Department. I'm sure you're all aware that Social Security and the Maine State Retirement System provided a 3% increase this year. While this increase still falls short of matching recent cost of living hikes, it is still better than the 2-to-1 increase being proposed to us. This offer is simply unacceptable and insulting. One of our teachers was an ed tech in another Maine district 26 years ago and earned the exact same amount as our ed techs now. Another one of our ed techs has been with the Auburn School Department for over 20 years, yet those in Lewiston earn more after just 8 years in the field. Additionally, one of our ed techs has a child who makes more working at McDonald's than she does here. Many of our ed techs qualify for heating assistance, main care, and even food stamps. You do realize why that is, right? It's because the wages we are being paid force us to live below the poverty line, despite the fact that many of us hold college degrees. There have been continuous delays in these district negotiations. At this point, the issue has shifted from inadequate wages to a lack of compassion and respect for us as employees of the school department. We now feel as though we simply don't matter. It's striking that you don't consider these negotiation meetings a priority, yet we are essential in your schools. How would these schools operate without ed techs or secretaries? The reality is they wouldn't. How can the Auburn School Department expect employees to come to work positive and prepared each day when the negotiation team can't find a time to meet and address our concerns? This lack of engagement fosters low morale, and believe me, that sentiment has been felt throughout our hallways.
Hi, I'm Tammy LaFerrier, and I work at Fairview as an Ed Tech 3 in the Junior Achieve program. So we do this job because we care about the kids, the students. They are our kids, and our colleagues. If we didn't, we wouldn't still be here. However, we don't feel valued by you. Not only are we not safety care trained, or most of us are not safety care trained, but we also do not receive hazard pay, both of which are essential for the safety of Fairview ed techs working in the Junior Achieve program. Furthermore, this lack of support and training poses a significant liability for the school department should an incident occur while we're on the job. Increasing our pay not only benefits us as individuals, but it also supports students and children in the long run. Currently, some students are forced to stay back or miss out on crucial activities due to insufficient staffing. With adequate compensation, our district will become more competitive, ensuring that our students receive the support they need and are not negatively impacted. If anyone is hesitating to raise our pay because you believe we don't deserve an increase, we invite you to come and see what we do every day. Fairview ed techs teach daily living skills, assist with toileting, provide comfort to our students, keep them safe from themselves and from others, and we work one-on-one with them as much as possible. We also position children in wheelchairs appropriately to prevent sores and ensure students prone to seizures are positioned safely to avoid choking. We implement specific sensory diets. We use PECS programs and even swim with our students and teach them water safety. We often have to chase and redirect our students, and we also face the reality of being bitten, spit on, hit, or scratched. In addition to these responsibilities, we handle morning and afternoon duties around the school, substituting classrooms as needed, assist daily in pre-K classrooms, support classes during their specials, and much more. Last year, my classroom started out the year without a classroom teacher. We were 3 ed techs with 5 Junior Achieve students on the caseloads of 3 different teachers. After you have experienced all these challenges and responsibilities, then you can tell us we only deserve the modest increases you are proposing. Until then, we urge you to consider how to make the Auburn School Department fair, strong, and positive once again. We hope that Auburn School Department can soon become a competitive and attractive workplace, one where we can retain our employees long-term, and most importantly, where everyone feels valued, because we do matter. We truly matter.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi. My name's Catherine Ramey. I am one of the music teachers at Auburn Middle School. This is my 18th year working at Auburn Middle School. At AMS, I worked as an ed tech ed tech 2 for 7 years, as the behavioral program special education teacher for 7 years, and I currently teach general music. I also have a son who has autism, anxiety disorder, language disorder, and Tourette syndrome. When I applied to Auburn as an ed tech in 2007, I had a master's degree and 3 years of teaching experience from Fairfax County Public Schools. I took a $37,000 pay cut, was receiving $800 a month take-home pay from Auburn, and once I had a child, I put him on my insurance. My take-home pay became $400 a month. While this was a long time ago, and I know some of these factors have changed, it does not excuse the fact that our ed techs are still severely underpaid. As an ed tech, my role was abused during those 7 years. For 1 whole year, I was made to teach a special education class because the teacher was out with cancer. I ceased attending classes with the students and helping them, and was teaching language arts and math. I also attended the IEP meetings of the students as the special education teacher. I received no extra compensation for doing this. Another year, after I was denied the music teacher job at AMS, and the music teacher they hired was not working out, I was continually asked to cover the music classes. Ed techs have been pulled for years in Auburn to cover other classes, and while I understand that administrators must often make quick solutions to a current problem, pulling ed techs makes the learning of our special education population not good, and that's just not okay. I took my child out of the Auburn school system after his 3rd grade year because it was evident to me that he was not receiving the services he was due. His teacher at the time had a high caseload and 1 ed tech, and my child is well behaved and can easily be lost within the masses, so I pulled him out. And when he was in middle school, the school he attended closed, and instead of attending AMS, where the teachers had maxed caseloads and some had no ed techs that year, my mother came up from Virginia and homeschooled him for 2 years. Despite the fact that AMS has an amazing group of special education teachers, they did not have the help they required to teach the students. Ed techs play a vital role in aiding the teacher so that all students can learn. For example, the last year I taught the behavior program, I had enough ed techs and they were not pulled on a regular basis, and the result was that the entire class met SGP at the end of the year. It is almost impossible for us to meet all students' needs without them. In music class, I have to ask high-achieving students to help peers who are struggling because there are no ed techs that attend my class and I can't get everyone in the allotted time. For high school for my son, I have opted to pay to send him to Acasisco School because he can finally get what he should have been receiving in the public schools. If you paid educational technicians more, we would be able to get more of them, we would be able to keep the ones that we have, and our special education children would get the education that they deserve. Thanks.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name's Bonita Morin, and I actually worked as an ed tech at Auburn Middle School from 2003 or 4, well, for over 20 years. I left 2 years ago for some family stuff that needed to be taken care of, and I'm back this year as a sub, and I am subbing for myself. They weren't able to fill my position in the time that I was out. I cannot say 100% that the reason is a lack of pay, but I do know that it is definitely a factor. Low pay with the demands of working with our most challenged students make the job one that people tend to do if they are called to it. We have to do better at showing that education of Auburn students matters by respecting staff enough to pay a livable wage. I could not maintain a home on my own given the current rate of pay is without working a second full-time job, which I did for that 20 years.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lana Cassidy, and I am proud to be here to share how valuable and essential ed techs are to my classroom. I am one of 5 special education teachers who work in the Junior Achieve program at Fairview Elementary School. I work with children who have individualized education programs, known as IEPs, and require additional support to access their educational programming. The additional daily support is provided by a team of kind, caring, hardworking, and dedicated ed techs. Without our dedicated and hardworking ed techs, I could not solely provide the structured learning environment necessary for the specially designed instruction required to support each student as they work on their academic and functional goals. The ed techs that I work with also do recess duty, lunch duty, bus duty, provides support during specials, swim with our students during our weekly swim program, and assist during Special Olympics. They also help to develop the fine motor, gross motor, communication, self-care, academic, and social skills. Ed techs are the backbone of my classroom and many others. They show up every day to make a difference for our students and go above and beyond in every way. They foster a fun and safe environment to learn. They provide support, care, modeling, assistance, supervision, guided practice, compassion, and love. They are team players that work together for a common goal to ensure our children learn and grow. I am so lucky to have such a wonderful team of ed techs and have worked with some of the very best over my years as a special education teacher. As lucky as I feel, it's my students who are the lucky ones. I hope that I have captured the valuable role that ed techs play in our schools. They are invested in our schools, so please invest in them. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Lucy Coaches. I teach the Achieve program at Auburn Middle School. I'm also the mom of 2 children that attend the Auburn schools. And I'm also a proud Edward Little graduate. But the way that our ed techs are being treated during this contract negotiation is shameful. Despite being treated like they're throwaway employees, these extremely valuable professionals are showing up every day and giving our most vulnerable students their all. Our ed techs are critical in teaching our students everything from how to toilet themselves to academic and behavioral supports. In many cases, our ed techs are the voices of our voiceless students. They work so hard to help our students achieve their goals, raise your test scores, even when they face physical harm, yet we can't pay them a livable wage. A 13% raise over 3 years is far more affordable than the cost of compensatory education for all of our special education students whose IEPs are not being followed because there are no ed techs to provide the supports for their free and appropriate public education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Noah Dumont. I'm at EdTech 3 at Edward Little High School. This is my 4th year working at EL. I am a 2017 graduate and proud to be a Red Eddie. I joined the EL staff after graduating from Bates College with an sociology degree. I came to EL knowing I wanted to make a difference. At EL, I have supported the guided study hall, provided academic support to students with IEPs in the general education setting, and have even subbed. Now, I am working in the Functional Life Skills program. I have demonstrated the ability to care for students and to advocate for their needs in all of these capacities. I enjoy helping in any way that I can, and I value being dependable. To me, this is what it means to be an ed tech. Ed techs are essential in meeting the needs of special education students. Being an ed tech requires that a person be empathetic, have a growth mindset, and always be up for a challenge. In my current role, I have experienced firsthand that edtechs in the functional life skills classroom have additional responsibilities in order to properly support students with activities of daily living and to ensure their safety. My passion for supporting special education students has led me to start working towards obtaining my special education teaching certification. I hope to stay in Auburn and to teach someday. I know that there are other people out there who would want to make a difference and work for the Auburn School Department if they had more competitive benefits and pay for their support staff. I have made a sacrifice to do what I love. As a result, I continue to live with my parents because I cannot afford to live independently on an edtech's salary. Auburn has invested in the infrastructure with a new EL, and it is time to invest in the support staff as well, or else I fear Auburn will lose valuable staff to nearby districts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John St. Pierre. I'm a bus driver for the Auburn Transportation Department. I came here tonight to support our ed techs and our secretaries, and I believe that they deserve a much better pay. I have an impelling story about a secretary from Park Avenue. Her and I have been working together hand in hand to try to create routes so that we can get kids to school on time, and we've finally created that. Ms. Doris, you acknowledged that today, and this is just one example of the above and beyond that these people are doing for the Auburn School Department. I've read all of the superintendent's letters, and we want to be a world-class school department. We have to pay our ed techs and our secretaries. They are the glue that holds everything together. They're helping our students become educated, come out into society. If we don't pay them, they're going to leave. How much does it cost to recruit, hire, train? It costs more to do that than to pay them. Give them their due. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Stephanie. I am Jill Steinman, and I'm an ed tech, and I'm from the Park Avenue School. My job is to support MLL students. Immigrant people, okay, it's a political hot seat. Doesn't make any difference. These children are here, and they deserve a chance. My job is when they're in classes, I'm trying to keep them translated along with their classes, trying to get them to become Americans. They love this country. I love the job. When I first took this job, I took a pay cut. I had to go on welfare. And I was more embarrassed for the Auburn School Department than I was myself to say, yeah, I work for the Auburn School Department, but I need help. I love this job. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would who would like to address the school committee?
We just want to provide all the documents.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the school committee this evening? Going once, going twice. Okay. With that, I'm going to close public participation. I am going to invoke chairperson privilege and just break from our usual procedure to take a moment to respond to some of the comments that you shared with us this evening on behalf of the school committee. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for taking your time to share your thoughts with us. We greatly value and appreciate the work and dedication of our ed techs and secretaries. You are all instrumental in supporting our students and ensuring our schools run smoothly. We see you and all of your hard work. Thank you. I would like to reassure you that the committee's goal to reach a settled contract is as soon as possible. We want a fair agreement for all parties, the unit members, the school committee, and the Auburn taxpayers who approve our school budget, and we are willing to put in the time necessary to reach that agreement. I'd like to provide some context to the negotiations process thus far. The school committee began negotiating in earnest with the Educational Support Unit on April 10th. Between April 10th and June 18th, the committee met with the unit a total of 5 times. April 10th, May 1st, May 8th, June 17th, and June 18th. Despite our best efforts, the unit declared impasse with the committee on June 18th, and the process then moved to mediation, where the purpose is to have the help of a neutral party to resolve and come to agreement on the outstanding issues between the unit and the committee. Our first mediation session was on September 10th, after which the mediator determined it would be beneficial to continue mediation as they felt progress was being made. On October 3rd and again on October 5th, the mediator provided a set of potential dates throughout October and early November for our next mediation session. Due to conflicting prior personal and professional commitments, the next date that worked for all parties involved, which is a minimum of 11 people, there are 5 people on the unit's negotiating team and 5 people on the school committee's team, plus the mediator, was November 7th, which is when we are scheduled to meet again. There is no purposeful delay on either party's part. It is merely due to scheduling conflicts and the mediator's availability. Throughout this process, the committee has and continues to bargain in good faith, and we've already agreed to several of the unit's requests, and we are eager to have a settled contract with the unit. The committee must balance the interest of you, our valued employees, while remaining good stewards of taxpayer dollars. We look forward to our next mediation date on November 7th to make more progress towards our shared goal. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I am now going to move on with our evening's agenda. Thank you. We do not have a presentation tonight, and we do not have a student school committee representative report, I believe, right? I'll just give everyone a few minutes just to clear out for whoever wants to leave. I know. Special talent. All right, we're going to move on. I do not believe, do we have a superintendent's report this evening?
I have no items tonight,
Okay.
thank you.
And I do not have a school committee chairperson's report. Do we have a city council update tonight? Close the door.
The only update I have from the city council is that absentee voting is now available for anyone who didn't know that. I believe it's available up until October 31st. Yeah, so get out and vote.
I have a question about that, and you may or may not know the answer to this. There's a box outside City Hall over here. If someone has an absentee ballot, can they bring it in? Do they have to put a stamp on it, or can they just put it right into that box? Do you know that?
That is a wonderful question. I do not know the answer, but I know who would know the answer. So I will
I do
ask
know the
Clerk
answer.
Carrington about that.
You do not have to put a stamp on it if you put it in the ballot box outside.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Regarding committees, so we have the agenda and minutes linked for the Finance Subcommittee meeting on October 9th. There was not a policy committee meeting, subcommittee meeting yesterday, so that agenda will get moved to November. The curriculum subcommittee agenda and minutes are linked from October 2nd, and the health and safety subcommittee agenda and minutes are linked from October 7th. Would anyone from those committees like to share any info or summaries of any of their meetings? Okay. Yes. Refer to the minutes. And we had a facilities advisory committee meeting today. So those minutes will be linked on the next agenda. Moving on to old business. I will entertain a motion to approve policy AUB-GBP, earned paid leave, for a second reading and approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Quinn, so moved, and Pam, second. All those in favor? I'm sorry. Any discussion, questions? Any discussion, questions on this one? Okay, seeing none. All of those in favor of approving policy AUB-GBP, earned paid leave, for approval? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to approve policy AUB-GBPR, earned paid leave administrative procedure, for a second reading and approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Quinn, second Corin. Any questions, discussion on this one? Adam?
Am I looking at the wrong agenda, or did these say for a first reading?
For second reading and
should say
approval.
second.
Yeah, but am I
It
looking?
says second reading
You're
on
looking
our
at the wrong
agenda.
agenda.
I'm looking at the wrong agenda.
Okay.
I'm saying-
Any other questions, discussion on this one? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving policy AUB-GBPR, earned paid leave administrative procedure, for approval? Unanimous. Okay. Moving on to new business. I'll entertain a motion to approve spending $67,300 from the FY22 CIP bond to install inline meters at ELHS to apply for the full investment tax credit. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Pam, Pat, second. Amanda, are you able to provide a little context on this?
Yes, along with the memo that was provided, this city has recently officially decided they will, as long as we can install these meters, apply for a full tax credit, which is in the $3 million range. And basically, because of the heating and cooling system installed in our new high school, the IRS offers this credit. But in order for us to maximize our credit amount, we need to prove using meters that a certain percent of this heating and cooling is through the geothermal system. So we're limited to what we can apply for a credit without installing these devices. And they would be installed by the same company that installed our system in the first place, so they would just continue with that work. That's the purpose of these meters, is to be able to apply for the larger tax credit. As stated in the memo, it's a much bigger difference.
Anyone have any questions?
So this
$3 million in savings is just from the high school heating and cooling system?
It is, yeah. Based on the amount of money that we spent to install it, that's the amount we'd be looking to get back for credit.
Okay. So if we installed similar systems in other buildings, could we apply for the same credit?
Correct, that's how it works, yeah.
Very much.
Pat?
I'm confused about the word credit and tax credit. So if we earn this, where does that go?
So it is called the investment tax credit, but it is in the rebate form. So we actually would receive the funds from the IRS because we already put the money into the installation. As far as I understand it, it's a credit on the actual install, but we already paid for the install, so it's a rebate on that payment.
Okay, so my second question is that to the school system or to the city of Auburn?
Well, it's to both. It would go to the city of Auburn would like to create a reserve account, much like our high school reserve account that we have, and it would be for infrastructure. So it potentially could be used for school buildings or city buildings.
It wouldn't go against the bond?
It would not go against the bond, no. There is the potential for an audit in the first 5 years, so we wouldn't want to put those funds against any of our payments, especially in those first 5 years.
So if this potential money, the $3 million that we get back, if it would not just go to the city, it would also go to us, at least $667,000 worth of funds, right?
That hasn't been discussed. I think that that's a perfectly acceptable request to be reimbursed for the installation of the meters, and I think that's a conversation we can have with the city. We don't know what we'll get. Like you said, it is a potential $3 million. The IRS does decide the exact amount. Competitive Energy Services is quoting that amount as a maximum is what we'd be looking at. It definitely is worth the installation because the increase is an over $2 million increase that the city would receive. But I think that requesting the reimbursement for that dollar amount makes sense. Should we receive those funds, I think that's a good conversation for us to have in the future.
All good questions? Anyone else? All right, seeing no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve spending $67,300 from the FY22 CIP bond to install inline meters at ELHS to apply for the full investment tax credit. All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, we have a list of all of our upcoming meetings. Do I have any future agenda items or requests for information? Yep. Pat, you got to use your...
Sorry. The November 6th Facilities Committee meeting is actually October 30th.
Yes, thank you. We'll get that updated for October 30th at 3 p.m., I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
When is the next policy meeting?
It's going to get moved to November now, so whatever I don't know what day you guys meet.
It's the third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday in November?
5 p.m.
Okay. Any other requests?
This has already been given at a meeting that I missed. Is it possible to get a memo updating us on the status of negotiations?
I don't know if we can provide memos. We have to do executive session for that.
Okay.
So we will plan accordingly for an executive session to do those updates.
That works.
Yeah. All right. If I don't have any other agenda item requests, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
And Quinn, all those in favor? We are adjourned at 7:02. Thank you, everyone.